Hello everybody, this is Chaos with Chaos Esports Productions, bringing you game number 2 of tonight's clan war between oGaming and Eternal Dreamers. Let's go ahead and introduce our player. Spawning in the northern portion here on Polar Night Ladder Edition, it is going to be oGaming's Tenza. And spawning in the southern portion with a very nice victory last game, it is going to be Eternal Dreamers Trace User. So, very nice game last game. Trace User did a very interesting build. Probably not the most practical build, but made do. Has actually managed to contest the third base of his Zerg opponent and definitely take a very clean win last game. So we'll have to see whether or not he can continue on doing that here in game number 2. So, Polar Knight's a very, actually I believe it is a kind of a spawn of an old Brood Ward map. It's quite nice. You got this kind of normal style natural base. Actually a very wide open section, so you have definitely a little bit harder time walling off this this main entrance to your natural, which tends to be a little bit of an issue for most Protoss players, but we'll have to see how Trace User does fend with that. So you have your your pick of third base. Obviously you can go over here to the left hand side. You've got these kind of two spots that you have to focus on defending. Obviously your main army is going to probably sit in this general area to be able to kind of go back and forth and defend off, but you also have the option of go ahead and destroying these destructible rocks here in the back. And pretty much go ahead and take that as your third, or you can feel a little bit special and go ahead and start expanding towards your opponent, it would be my guess, over here on the upper right hand side. So we'll have to see how this all pans out. Cybernetics Core now going down for Trace User, a little bit different build than last time, going for those 3 guys and 3 gas. But we do have an extractor. Let's see, this was a hatch first, extractor, then spawning pool build. So definitely going to be focusing on getting up his speedlings. We'll have to see whether or not this turns into kind of a speedling baneling bust, because obviously going for that earlier gas is going to give you a slightly higher gas count as you get kind of into your mid game. Trace User is going to go ahead and throw down that natural expansion while getting up his mothership core. So everything's looking pretty good. We'll have to see how Tenza chooses to play this out, whether or not he will be the aggressor in this game, or if he'll play more of the reactionary Zerg style that a lot of us probably have seen in a lot of games. So it does see the natural expansion down with this Overlord, which is quite nice. Just now getting his second Overlord into position to check out kind of the back of Trace User space. Once again, we're seeing, let's see, we're still pretty early into this, so we'll probably see a wall off come off from Trace User, and then him moving to starting to think about getting his tech up. So hope everybody has been enjoying the cast. Feel free to go ahead and hit that follow button down in the lower left hand corner if you have. Greatly appreciate it. Checking out all the clan wars that are casted here on the stream. So it does look like Tenza is going to go ahead and pull out of the gas, so simply just going for that speed upgrade and a relatively quick third. So obviously he's going for a more economic focus build, which is exactly what his teammate did. So we'll have to see whether or not Trace User chooses to contest this once again, or if he will choose to play a little bit more on the passive side. Because obviously, by taking that third base, you're making a very bold statement to your opponent that yes, I am going for something macro-oriented. We do have more units out on the field, probably, for Tenza than we did on Maverick, so he's going to be a little bit better defended, but we'll have to see whether or not Trace User does choose to be aggressive against this. So Trace User obviously is going to get some nice happy shots off on this hatchery while he waits for his economy to get booming. And actually we do have a Twilight Council going down, so it does look like he's probably going to be favoring the same build that he did last game, going for that relatively quick +2 upgrade. Now obviously the The Forge is a little bit later than in the last game. But it does look like he is going to try and go for probably some type of blink play once again. So I'd say that's really the only difference between this game and last game. Him obviously delaying that +1 upgrade. I'm pretty sure he had +1 done by the time he was attacking the third base. So this attack could potentially do a lot less damage than it did in the previous game. But granted, last game he still didn't take out the third, even though... So we'll have to see whether or not he can actually come in here and do a significant amount of damage. Now, looking at the units tab, we do have 11 Lings out so far. So looks like he's actually going to put himself into a pretty decent position. Obviously, going to try and trap some of the Lings by the Zealots. I'd say so far he's in a pretty decent position. He needs to be worried about this Mothership Core. If the Mothership Core goes down, he's going to lose every single one of these units. And actually... I think he could have still fought that battle. Obviously, he got a lot more unit kills in that battle versus in comparison to his last game. But I think overall, the damage that was done was pretty decent. Got pretty much killed a handful of Lings and a couple of Roaches. So the army size is going to be significantly less for the Zerg player than it was in the last game. So yeah, so overall I think he's in a pretty decent position. We do have a Dark Shrine coming out, which is kind of an interesting little twist that he has, rather than going for the blink style of play. So we'll have to see whether or not that's going to be able to get any damage done. Now obviously Tenza, I don't believe has scouted this. If we take a look at the vision... Okay, yes, he did get confirmation that there is a Dark Shrine on the way, but he hasn't really put up any... I mean, Lair is finished, so he should be okay against it. We'll have to see whether or not he actually realizes it, because, I mean, he hasn't put any Spore Crawlers down. We look at the Buildings tab. Yeah, there are no Spore Crawlers out. I think these DTs might actually get a significant amount of damage done. We got a couple kills coming already from this DT. We'll keep an eye on that. He is potentially going to also be... doing some damage here at the third. Queens are being pulled. Wow, this Dark Templar is up to 7 kills already. Just now, the first Spore Crawler is going down. He's going to go ahead and move in with this his main army to try and get some damage done. One of those Roaches is going to get picked off pretty quickly. Now, obviously, the Spore Crawler is about halfway done, so it should be up in time. Okay, so yeah, this DT is going to town, getting a lot of damage done. And I think overall that was a very, very nice nice little DT attack there. You got a significant number of units killed in comparison to what was earlier. Now, Trace User does need to be a little bit on the careful side, because obviously at this point we do have a bunch of units already out for Tenza. So with only his first Colossus just now on the way, he's going to definitely need to be hitting some very, very sick money force fields in order to defend this third properly. So definitely needs to be aware of where his opponent is and what's going on, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, at this point there are no observers out on the field, so he's not going to be able to put a couple scouts out there. Now obviously Tenza is going to go ahead and very interesting little move pattern. So he's going to go check out both the side thirds, and is probably going to be moving his main army in to this bottom third here. Now we do have a Changeling coming in, so he will probably get confirmation of that third base. There it is. So yeah, so he will now probably be in a very, very good position to go ahead and start contesting this. Now, obviously with the first Colossus out, he is going to go ahead. Trace User is going to go ahead and push out. He's got to be very, very careful of the concave. A couple of these... Okay, Time Warp going down. Almost 2 sentries going down. That would have been a really, really bad for Trace User, because obviously every force field at this point really counts. Extended Thermal Lance is on the way, but no more Colossus production. That's really, really strange. I would have expected at least 2 or 3 more Colossus out before he would stop that. Obviously, we do have a Spire on the way, so it looks like Tenza's going to be starting to get his Corruptor production going. Wants to put himself into a good position to take out these Colossus as quickly as possible. Time Warp going down, and some very, very nice force fields going down. We'll have to see whether or not it will be enough, because there are a lot of units coming out of here from Teza. And he looks like he's going to have a good enough concave to do a significant amount of damage. Obviously, this Colossus is going to town, only 3 kills so far. But without that extended thermal lance, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to engage with it. Colossus is going to try and get focused down, and actually, I think this might actually get defended. It will all boil down to the reinforcements coming out of Tenza, and it does not look like Trace User is going to have enough to actually hold this off. And it's definitely going to be putting Trace User on a very, very big back foot. We'll have to see whether or not he can muster up enough forces to continue to hold this off. Obviously, the Mothership Core is down, so he's not going to be able to... Oh, the Colossus is going to go down for free, more or less. Only a couple shots getting off of that, and this third base is definitely going down. There's just units streaming across the field, and it looks like Trace... 3 or 4... Okay, looks like Trace User is going to go ahead and call GG, tying up the score at 1-1.